Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build an airship in Minecraft. Let's get started. So first let's take an up-close view of our airship here. As you can see, we have a large central air balloon holding up a ship down here, several control surfaces at the back to guide air across the ship to serve as steering equipment. On the sides for propulsion, we do have a number of sails. And this is designed to be sort of a medieval version of an airship. So it is going to be unpowered in that respect. So let's go in here. There is quite a lot of rigging we're going to have to navigate as well. But I've taken just a standard ship design, a sort of a medieval carrack possibly, and converted it into an airship. This is something I've been wanting to make for quite a while, and I think it came out pretty good, and I'm going to be giving it to you here today. I think there's going to be enough space in here that you could make this your main base if you wanted to. But if you want to have it floating up in the sky somewhere as decoration, you can do that as well. And I'm going to be showing you in the reference model here a blue design, but bear in mind you can change the colors like I'm showing you over here. There's a red variant you can use also, or if you want to make all the sails black or something, you could have yourselves a pirate airship. That'd be pretty cool. Now, over here though, I want to say that this build is the successor to the hot air balloon tutorial I did quite some time ago. And I also want to say up front, in terms of difficulty level, I consider this hot air balloon to be a 1, and this thing over here is a 10. So if you had difficulty with the hot air balloon, you may want to skip this one because there is quite a lot more moving parts and a larger size to be considered with this particular build here. But I have made some improvements in my tutorial style since I did the original hot air balloons. So this will be done in slices of 1 block as we go all the way from the bottom to the top. And it's inside this big red box here because these are going to be serving as guidelines to help you construct it as we go. Because I assume you're going to be needing to construct this somewhere up in the air. So you're probably going to want to build the red box first, and then use that as reference lines to build the airship inside of the box. So with the tour out of the way, let's take a look at the materials list you are going to be needing to construct this excellent dirigible. You will be needing 728 oak wood planks, 130 spruce wood planks, 2,386 blocks of oak wood bark, not the tree trunks. You need the ones that have the bark on all 4 sides. You will need, for the balloon and the sails and everything, you will need 2,607 blocks of white wool, or whichever is the first color you want to use. For the second color, or the blue wool here, which I ripped the texture off of coral for my wool because I really liked it. But for that, you will need, for your second color, 2,944 blocks of that. And you will need tons of torches, 1 crafting table to serve as your ship's wheel, 17 ladders, 2,321 oak fences. This is all the rigging that we see along the way. 2 blocks of glowstone for these little lamps here at the back. 8 trap doors. 6 oak wood slabs, 214 spruce slabs, 85 spruce stairs, 10 cobblestone walls, 4 anvils for decoration, 34 orange stained glass panes, 6 spruce fences, and 66 blocks of blue glazed terracotta for decoration on the hull. So that's going to be used here along the hull, like so. Just a little bit of ornate decoration. Of course, all the orange glass back here is used for these ship's lanterns, being hung at the back there as well. And let's take a look at how big the big red box is going to be. So the dimensions for the big red box are 59 by 28 by 62. So it's 59 blocks across the long side down here, 28 blocks long across this side here, and 62 blocks high. from all the way down here to all the way up there at the top. So bear that in mind. So you may want to go ahead and pre-construct this box. When you're doing this, you want to measure this 3 times to make sure you get these dimensions accurate. Because if you don't, this is a very complex build and things will start getting off. And that will be really bad. So make sure you get your measurements correct. And as we go, I want to say that this build here, the good news is that it is symmetrical. In other words, if we slice our airship in twain here, and we take a look at one of the sides, we can see the entire ship in profile. So down here, you do have a decent amount of room down here inside the hull itself for you to fit in a base down here. Perhaps a storage room down here in the cargo bays. A little captain's cabin up here at the back for you. And a good amount of deck space as well. And also inside the balloon itself, we have a very, very large amount of space. Let's motion so we can see that there. So you can see we have a very large amount of interior space in here. So if you want to make perhaps a really big mob farm or some sort of farm, I think that you will have no trouble fitting it inside the giant ellipsoid here. But as we go, I'll be focusing on half of the build as we go. Probably this half over here. And just remember, though, that it is symmetrical along this red center line here. So what you build on this side, you want to mirror image that on the other side over here. And I will remark before I start that this entire world, along with the tutorial and everything, is going to be available in the video description below. So if you want to use a schematic for Lightmatic or something, or you just want to have a copy of it, or you just want to come here and look at it, all the phases as we go, in case the video is unclear, you can do that. So that will be available in the video description, both for Java and Bedrock. Also, I will do a Bedrock version for this one because I have a feeling that this might be somewhat popular. That is, if the hot air balloon video performance was anything to go off of. At this point, I assume that you have built your big red box, so we will begin the tutorial. So you want to establish your center line here. It's going to be right in the middle of the big red box. But just for reference sake, let's take from the corner here and count for 1, 2, 3, 40 blocks to get to this point right here for your center line. So you want to make sure that you get that correct. And once you have done that, we then want to count from here, not including this block here. We just want to start here and count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14 blocks. And then place your very first 2 blocks of wood here to begin your build. And of course, I assume that all the grass here is not present because you are building this somewhere up in the air. So if you want to as well, you might want to just add a floor to the red box here just to make it easier to get around in case you don't want to have to be using just a ton of rockets on your Elytra to fly around all the time, building the thing. So, as I said, this is laid out in discrete phases. We will be 3D printing this. From the bottom up, I'll be showing you all blocks pre-placed because there's too many blocks to do this in real time. So we will be doing this method here. So you already know where these 2 blocks down here are. So use that as a guide to place these blocks here. We are placing just a little bit of wood and the blue wool here, or whichever your second color of wool, you want to place that right there. And then a bit of oak, some fences, and some of those oak wood blocks that have the bark on all 4 sides. All right. Not too bad. Let's go on to the next phase. And I will say up front, I think we may be in for a 2-part video. I don't think that I will rush on this one. We are going to go just as slow as we need to, so you can see everything. Remember, as we go, all you have to do is just pause and build what you see on your screen. And the placement for the torches here, you can put these wherever you want to. I've only put a minimal number of these. Well, I didn't list the number. But if you're doing this in survival, I think you need to put many more torches than what you see that I have added here. Because otherwise, you don't want to have a creeper falling from the rigging and blowing up your whole ship. That'd be really bad. So, next phase here, one block farther up. Like so here. Now, the oak fences are, of course, meant to represent rigging. In other words, ropes that are tying our ship together so we can adjust our sails and everything. And these are the patterns for those here. This is probably going to be the most difficult part of the tutorial, I imagine, is getting the rigging in the right places. It's going to be easy in the first couple of phases, but once we start getting up in there to the sails, as it's just barely getting out of range, you can see we have a lot of it to go. So I think that you've got that phase there, so we will go on to the next one here. The first couple will be fairly easy. We're getting off to a nice slow start. And of course we have a bit more of the rigging right here. It's about 4 blocks extra that we're going up here for the moment for the lowest sections of the rigging on the bottom. And of course you can see it's sitting on our red center line. So this is just a mirror image of what's over there, like I explained. So let's go on to the next phase here. Building a bit more of our rudder at the bottom. Of course, it's not in water, so we have to have a very large rudder as a control surface. So when the air passes over it, if we need to turn it to this direction or that direction, we can do that so we can help guide the ship where we want it to go. And as we go, remember we're doing this in discrete 1-block slices. So use the previous slice that we did down here as a guide for you to place the one that is on top right here. Let me get a little bit more rigging off to the side here. All right, next phase. Still building our rudder here at the bottom. Not too difficult, I think. Got a little bit of rope here on the end. And a bit more here off to the side as well. All right, next phase right here. Bit more of the rudder. And here we have the full blocks. You can see that this is going to be the bottom of the hull of the ship that we are building here. So let me just show you this from below right here. We have more rigging on the front now. And here on top. And I'll measure this out for you. This is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. Right there for that. And a bit more rigging on the sides out here. All right, let's go on to the next phase here. Building a bit more of our rudder at the back along with the main hull of our ship. like you see done here. A bit more rope on the edge out here, 5 blocks. Of course, we have our keel made out of oak running along the bottom of the ship. Remember, that's right on top of our red center line, like so. So use that to orientate yourself if you get lost. Bit more rope, another 4 blocks here on the outside. And we will go on to the next phase. So here we have a bit more of our rudder still, very large rudder. And a bit more of our hull. So to help make that a little bit clearer, I'll trace out the shape of the hull. I'll lay down these half slabs, easier to count. Of course, the block you should be placing is directly beneath the half slab. I'll give you a top-down view of that. A view inside the ship. Of course, if you want to rearrange the interior of the ship and remove some of these transverse bulkheads, you are free to do so and modify the design in any way you please, because it is going to be your airship after all. A bit more rope on the outside over here, another 4 blocks. And a bit more rope out here, another 5. All right, next phase. Almost done building our rudder back here. Like so. Now I will lay down some slabs here to make the shape of the hull very clear. Right there. And let's take a look inside the hull. And let's take a look at what we've got so far from below. And another, 4 blocks of rope out here on the edges. These go out quite a ways. These are as far as the sails extend from the side of the ship, quite a ways. Very large airship. And another 5 blocks here for that. And we will go on to the next slice. So, the last parts of our rudder here, tied into the back of the ship. I would lay down some slabs here to count out the shape of the hull. We have a bit of cobblestone here because these are going to be anchors, the cobblestone walls. I don't think I pointed those out in the tour. I'm assuming they have very long ropes on them. It being an airship, it would have to go down quite a ways before it snags something to hang on to. Taking a look inside the ship. And out here for the rope, another 5 blocks here, and another 4 back here. All right, next phase. All right, very, very complicated phase we have now here. We have suddenly a lot of rope and a lot of rigging and things for the bottom of our sails that we're going to be doing along with the top deck. So we're going to have to go kind of slow on this one. We're going to start at the stern, as we have been doing, and go towards the bow. So back here, I will place down some slabs. We're using some of this blue glazed terracotta now as detailed edging to ornamentate our ship just a little bit, like so. There's the outline of that. I have not included these half slabs here in that though. 4 half slabs there. Another cobblestone wall there. And let's take a look at the interior of the ship, and then we will take a close look at the rigging. So here we are. We have some internal beams for our ship right here. And half slabs on top of those for the deck planks. Like so. We have access to our cargo hold right here. And ladder access there as well. I think if from the top-down view, I think you can get a good idea how to construct that. So let's start right here and take a look at this first spar that is going out from the ship. Or perhaps it's is that a spar or a yard arm? I'm really not up on my naval terminology. So the big wooden stick here we want to have. And I think it's got the same slope. It's just four blocks here, set back, and moved back 4 blocks, and so on and so forth. I think you can see that. You want to place those until you get all the way out here to the edge. And this will meet up with the rope under here that we have been building since we started. And as you can see, also we have more rope that is attached to both ends of this that goes all the way to the back there. So you can see we have another slope of 4 blocks here, move over a block, 4 blocks, over 1, 4, and so on and so forth, repeating pattern until it collides with the rudder back here at the back. At the front here, we have another repeating slope, but it's going to be a slope of 3. So starting here, you can see we have 3 blocks, then move over 1, 3 blocks, move over 1, 3 blocks, so on and so forth until we get to this point here, which interfaces with the other amount of rope that we've been building here. And of course, the spar here starts at the tip of the bow, right here, and it's got the same slope as the other one. 4 blocks, move over and back 1, 4 blocks, over and back, another 4 blocks, so on and so forth till you get to the edge out here where we just have 3. So let me zoom out a little bit and give you a good view of the entire structure here. Let me give you a good top-down view of the entire thing. So take your time building all of that, getting the rope and the spars and everything in the right place. And once you have done that, we will move on to the next phase, where we have just a little bit of white wool, which means we are beginning to build some of the sails now. So let's start at the back here, at the stern, like we have been doing. And you want to build this pattern here with all these wood planks and everything. I think there's going to be your captain's cabin is in this section here. A bit more blue glazed terracotta. Right there. On top of these half slabs we put down, we have 4 blocks of rope. Of course, they're oak fences, but I'm going to be referring to them as rope. For the tutorial, we have oak along the sides here. And a bit more rope. And our anchors here at the front, you can kind of tell these are meant to be roughly in the shape of anchors. And a bit of wood here. So I'm going to give you a good slow view of this. We, of course, have the entrance we're making for our cargo hold right here. And what would be our masts on a normal ship, but these are, as you recall, attached to the hot air balloon to make it more rigid. All right, at the back here, we do have another spar out the back for one of our control surfaces at the back. These are sort of like the tail wings on a plane. And as you can see, we have a rope attached to those. Just 2 blocks and then 2 blocks of rope. Then 2 blocks and 2 blocks of rope. Right there, I think, what is that? 7 or 8 of those. Go back out here to the tip of our yard arms. All the way out here where we want to start placing down just a few blocks of wool for our sails. Now, I should also mention, I hope wherever you're building this has fire tick off, because almost the entirety of the ship is extremely flammable. So it would be a great shame if you go to all this trouble and it goes up in flames. 4 blocks of wool here for the bottom of that sail. Here at this level, we do also have a rope that is coming out here for 4 blocks, over a block, 4 blocks, over a block, and 4 blocks. Same pattern until you get all the way here, where we place a couple of more blocks of wool here at the front for our smaller sail at the front. And a couple of blocks of wool here for the attachment for this sail as well. I think between the sails and the rigging is one of the things that makes this build rather difficult, because there are hardly any straight lines in this ship. So that is why I rate it of advanced level difficulty. Okay, for this phase, quite a lot going on back here. We have the large control surfaces right here. Let me just start showing you this from the stern, from below. Right here, you can use the spar that we laid out here for the last time as a guide to help you build this. So let me try and get a good view on this. So this is looking at it from below in its entirety. And now let's look at it from above. Right here. And let's get some close-in side shots so you can see how it fits together. I think all the blocks in here are high contrast enough that you won't have any trouble doing the block counts for these. Although, I mean, it's just this 1, 2, 3, 6 blocks right there for that. Just in case. I know the wool texture and the oak blends in just a little bit. We do have a little bit of orange stained glass here for our ship's windows. If you want to use another color of stained glass, light blue perhaps, you are free to do so. But this is going to be your captain's cabin. Back here. A couple of stairs. Right there. We have some stairs out here as well. Bit more of our mast there. A couple of trap doors here for your cargo area. You can either have these open or partially shut. However you choose to do that. Here at the front, a little more detail for another little mast. And of course here we have one of our anvils sitting on top of our anchors. Like so, right there, just little decorative details. These are rather small though, so if you are short on iron or something, you don't have to have the anvils here. They're just extra decoration, optional. There's the bow here at the front. And we do have some more fences, ropes, right here. These are going to be the main sections of ropes that hold the balloon to the sides of the ship. So you want to make sure that none of these get cut, because it's a long way down. More rope here. 8 blocks. Right there. Let's go out to the edge now and build a little bit more of our sail. Like you see done here. Take a look at this sail here. A few more blocks of that there. I don't mind telling you that the sails were one of the most difficult portions to do on this build, because you have to have them have the billowing effect in the wind, doing that entirely out of blocks. So these took a couple of days to do, just the sails, and that was all I did those days, just working on these sails. But you have the benefit that I have already done all the design work for you, so you just have to place the blocks. And the next sail here at the front. Right there. And I think that one took quite a while, but I think that is all there is to look at on that one. So let's go to the next phase over here. So we're building a bit of our captain's cabin here at the back, at the stern. Right here. Out here on top of our control surface at the back, we do have another spar, like we built 2 phases ago. It's the same as the one we built down there. You just want to do another one on top of that there. And we also have some rope here on the edges to help guide our control surfaces, so we can help steer the ship as we float around in the sky. Bit more stairs here, bit more rope right here, bit more of our mast, more mast here at the front. And I think this might be the last few bits of glazed terracotta right there. And right here at the front, we do have some stairs and things that will be forming one of those ornaments that are always carved on the front of ships. I've tried to do one of those on the stem and stern of the ship. But turning our attention back to the starboard bow, we have a bit more rope over here. And I think we can now go and take a look at the sails again. So, sails. The big one at the back, right here. Use the blocks you previously placed to help guide you in placing these. Take a look at the next section of the sail. I think in a phase or two, looks like on the next phase, we will be connecting those. All right, let's take a look at the next sail. We're already connecting that one, actually. Like so. Let's take a look from below. And I think that is all there is to that phase, so let's go on to the next one. So at the back here, we have our captain's cabin, a little bit of orange stained glass. Right here, oak wood tree trunks. A floating trap door. Ignore that for now. We'll take a look at where that goes in the next phase. It's just sitting on the bottom of something. And here's some beams and slabs inside of the captain's cabin. our stairs to get up to our wheelhouse. Right here. A bit more of this mast. A bit more of that mast. And some oak and ropes here at the front, along with the ornament we have on the front of our ship here. Just some spruce stairs and half slabs for that. More rope right here. 8 blocks of that there. Another 8 blocks of rope here. And let's take a look at our sail now. So the large sail is being connected together. Zoom out and show you all that at a glance. And from below here. All right, the one at the front. And I think that's all that is on this phase. Let's take a look at where that trapdoor goes. Okay, so I remember now. That's on the bottom of these lanterns. Remember the glowstone lanterns that we had? We're building those now, just right here. Right on top of that there. A bit more glass here at the back for our captain's cabin. You probably put your bed down right here. Be a nice place for you to sleep. Interior of that room there. Let's come up our stairs. And I think we're going to be putting that that crafting table there, I think. As well, some detail here on the side for some of these stairs. A couple of half slabs. Bit more rope right here. And a bit more rope right there. A bit more of our mast here in the middle. Mast at the front. And some rope and oak and half slabs right here at the front. All right, back here, I think I've neglected to talk about it. So there is some rope back here at the back. Few blocks right there. And some of these, I think it's maybe a small mistake in the reference model. When I was making this, these really need to be connected. So let me explain here. How should those connect together? So we're probably going to need to add some extra rope here at the back. It'll probably be only maybe 20 or so more fences that you will need for that, but just however you need to connect this together. Because when I originally did this, I planned all these out with wool, but in some places I guess I forgot to come back and connect them together when I converted them to the fences there. For the oak, we need to take a look at the sails now. Take a look from below. Our nice billowing sail design. I think I actually let the model sit for a week or so before I worked up the courage to do these sails. Well, they got done in the end, and I'm very pleased with how they came out. All right, I think that's all there is on that phase. Let's take a look at the next one. Of course, we have our glowstone inside these illuminated lanterns at the back. You know, all those good old ships, they always have those lanterns hanging off the back of the ship, so we have some of those as well. Right here, we're also finishing off our captain's cabin down below there. Placing our crafting table to represent our ship's wheel right here. And if you want to, you can put an item frame on top of this with a compass or something. That might look pretty neat. A little bit of rope. Right there, some stairs there. A bit more of our mast. A bit more of that mast there. And more oak and ropes here at the front. All right, a bit more rope here. I think you can see that this is another repeating pattern for the rope. Same for this one here. The rope here at the back. And let's take a look at the sails. Get a view of the sail from below. Dodging the rigging while we do so. And the sail at the front. I hope you're very good with your elytra skills, dodging all this rigging when flying in and out of your ship. Should prove quite a challenge to do. All right, so next phase here, a little bit of detail for ornamentation at the stern. Some more rope attachments, a lot more upside down spruce stairs here. A bit more of these lanterns. A bit of rope right there. We have another masthead here at the back. And we also have now, finally, the lowest most portions of our balloon beginning to take shape. Right here. So you can use the mast here as a guide. You then want to extend that out for 4 blocks there and 4 blocks back here and 3 blocks that way. For that, mast at the front, a bit of rope, and some oak. All right, some more rope here. More rope here. Rope here at the back. Even more rope here. And this rope here at the back that needs to be connected together. Now, like I said, I will leave it up to you however you want to figure out how to connect it together. Just any way you can do it would make it look better. Well, maybe like that. But yeah, there's generally always something when I'm doing the phases, I will find something that I would generally have missed. And it looks like it's going to be that piece of rope. for this particular build. Let's take a look at the sail. The pattern for that here. Dodge the rigging, take a look at it from below. The sail at the front. And I think that's all that is for that phase. Let's go on to another one. So here at the back, a little ornament hanging off the back of the stern here. A couple of stairs. Another piece of rope. Another bit of rope here. And some oak tree trunks off the side here to hold up these lanterns. Right there, a bit of a mast here at the back. And finally, finally, we get to add a bit of the balloon. So we already placed that there last time. So we want to come out an additional 5 blocks there. And then place our wool here. And as we go, for clarity's sake, I will place half slabs directly on top of the wool. So you can get the block counts for that accurate. And then from here, we want to place what, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks there to connect that together. Like so, and we are having some extensions on the side here as well. And some rope attached to that. I think it's some spruce fences there, though. Those should probably be oak. So you may want to change this in your design and have that be oak. I was wondering where those spruce fences were coming from. But anyway. And this is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 blocks there, and probably another 6 right there for that. The ship at the moment is beginning to resemble a plate of spaghetti. We have moving parts going everywhere. So here's a bit of this rope here at the back. More rope here. And there, we just have this diagonal rope. Remember, connect that together however you can. More rope here on the sides. More rope here for this. These things are going to be continuing upwards. Remember, they wrap around our balloon. A bit more oak there. A bit more rope here. And I think we can take a look at the sails now. They're getting quite big. There they are at a glance. Lower down a bit. Take a look at them from the other side. The sail at the front. And the next phase. So a bit of detail here at the back. Stair there, a bit of rope. And more rope here at the back as well. Another anvil. These are sitting for decoration's sake on top of these lanterns. But remember, they're just decoration. You don't have to have the anvils if you don't want them. All right, a bit of rope here again. Take a look at the rope here at the back as well. Here on the sides, even more rope. And you guessed it, more rope right here. And just a little bit here at the front. And I think a little bit of oak. Right there. At this point, that is 3 blocks away from our big red box. Let's take a look at the balloon now. Try and show you this from the top down first. And then I think I need to place just a lot of half slabs on this. So here, this is going to be where our mast that we've been building, our 3-block mast there. So another 3 blocks there for that. And I can try and show you this from below before we do that as well. May not be too helpful. Go back up here. So on top of the wool, I will place the half slabs here so you can count this out. Stopping here at our center line. And behind that, you just want to fill that in with wool until you get here in the middle. And the shape in the middle doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you don't leave any stray blocks. Like that there. But if you want to have extra blocks here in the middle or something, that's completely fine too. That's going to be up to you. All that is going to be not visible from the outside. And we do have a couple more blocks of oak. Right here, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 blocks of oak there. Probably another 7 on this side. No, 6. 6 blocks on the front. And a bit of oak bark blocks right here. 4 and then 3. Tied in to the mast here at the front that we've been building for a little while. So take your time on that one. Building the balloon is, getting the first couple of phases going is going to be a little difficult, I know. But just bear with it. Take a look at the sails. And back here as well. From the front. And the sail at the front. All right, let's tackle another phase. I said this is probably going to be a 2-part video. So I don't know if we're halfway up the ship or not. But I think we're coming about to an hour anyway. So I think this is going to be the last phase for today, for part 1. I think you have your work cut out for you in building the airship with just what we've done so far. I don't think collecting the materials will be too bad. It's placing all these ropes and the sails that's going to be the most difficult part. Probably the ropes for you more so than these sails. Remember, connect that one together just any way you can. Lots of rope there. Let's take a look at all the rope before we take a look at the balloon. Right there. More rope for this. And a bit for this. And a little bit on the front. All right. Let's take a look at the balloon now. Let's start from the stern. Here, so we have the oak bark blocks here. attached to the end of the balloon on this side. And I'll place these so you can get the exact shape of the ellipsoid of the balloon. Like so. There may be some stray blocks like that there that aren't necessary. I didn't go back and optimize the balloon for materials on this. So there may be blocks like that that you don't need to place. But blue wool is fairly inexpensive. So you may have a little bit too much of that. All right, let's lower down and take a look at the balloon interior slowly from the inside. Like so, with what we've got so far. A nice generous space here. We are going to have 3 more blocks of oak right there. And some on the front, I think, as well. Just 1 and a bit of oak as well. So we have this, we're going to have a big oak band wrapping around our balloon at the front here. Like so. And let's take a look at the sails. So our big sail here. And our smaller sail at the front. But that's going to be all the time we have for today. Hope you are enjoying building the airship. I know it's probably going to be quite a difficult build, but just go slow and take your time, and I think that you will be able to construct it. Remember, the world in all its various phases are available for download in the video description, so you can come here and take a look at this for yourself. And I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.